Hello, I'm Eric.
And I'm Melissa.
And today we're going to do our PRGE 2022 pickups video.
Yes!
Yes!
3 years!
3 years. Whoops. PRGE is back.
Oh yeah, mine's backwards too.
And it was a huge year.
Yes.
Yes. We had 3 years of funds saved up.
Oh, yeah.
No, not really. But we pretended like we did.
How come we didn't have 3 years of money saved?
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't actually have the money. I had a little bit of extra money. And that's bad for me because it means I spend a lot of extra money. And this year was huge.
Mm-hmm. It was.
We had some really good pickups. I went in the days leading up to it, I was redoing my price charts, and I was feeling pretty defeated. Because all of the prices had doubled since the last time.
If
and I was
not
like,
tripled.
This is going to be awful. So I went in expecting to have to spend a bunch of money, and having that mindset was dangerous.
Well, and you thought, okay, I'm only going to get a couple things.
Yeah.
Couple 2-3 things, and then it was like a couple 20-30 things.
Yeah, and your brother wasn't there to help us negotiate, and I didn't do a good job. So, woo.
But we got some really
good stuff.
Really nice.
And I know that in a few years I'm going to be happy I paid what I did pay for this because I'm sure it's going to be more. All right, so let's just jump right in because this is going to take us a while. As usual, we are going to start with manuals. All right.
We looked through quite a few amount of manuals, and a lot of places had them nicely organized, which was nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got the Atari manuals up first. Still collecting that Atari stuff. And Atari is insane to collect for because there's so many variants and everything. So I grabbed 3D Tic-Tac-Toe manual. I don't have this game. I still don't have the game. But I know I'm going to. Bridge. Don't have that game either. And then this was a mistake.
Oh,
I don't know what I did. There's a couple of mistakes, but here's one. Football. And this one is the Visitor's Playbook. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, this looks like Atari 2600 graphics. But it's not. This is still for the 5200 and I already have this.
Darn.
But this is in really good shape. So this is an upgrade.
Okay.
But I already had the Real Sports Football for 2600 and the Visitor's Playbook.
I mean, we were doing real good on the...
We were. There's another one that's an even bigger mix-up that I even thought at the time, this doesn't seem right. All right, another one, Codebreaker. Nice. I have the game. You'll see them in the pictures. Hangman. Real Sports Baseball. Now, I think this is subset complete. I now have Real Sports Volleyball, Baseball, and Football for the 2600 and their manuals. I don't know if there's... I actually don't know if there's another Real Sports. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not subset complete. Video chess.
Everybody likes
I've got these games. Yeah. Here's a good one to get. Super Challenge Football. I love to find these third-party manuals. So, that's good. And then I grabbed this just for the fun of it. This is a Parker Brothers catalog that I don't have.
Okay.
So, I always like to grab these if I see them. They're kind of neat. I'll read through that. Maybe. All right. And then a 7800 game. One-on-one basketball. Okay, and now a couple that I'm pretty happy about. This one is in bad shape. Not great shape. But I never see it. So I grabbed it when I saw it, regardless of the condition. Mario Lemieux. Hockey. Just hockey. This is like one of the few, I think it might be the only Genesis game I need. No, I still need Shove It. But it's one of the, there's only a few Genesis games I don't have complete. And this is one of them. And now I have it complete. Another Sega game. Game Gear. X-Men Games Masters Legacy. Okay. I think this is like the second X-Men game on the Game Gear. I think I got this from Cartridge Club Con from Buried on Mars, or Canadian Grooves, as he goes by now. Okay. All right, so now the NES manuals. This is a mistake.
This Back to the Future?
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking. Like, I don't know why. I think the spreadsheet was wrong. I think the spreadsheet, I never updated the spreadsheet when I got the manual. So it indicated that I didn't have the manual, but I have it. So, meh. All right, a couple more NES manuals, some good ones. Demon Sword. A few of these I can't believe I didn't have.
Yeah.
This one I can believe. Donkey Kong 3, glad to have that. Always good to get a black box. Magic Darts. Okay. This is on the chopping block anyway, but I grabbed the manual. Narc. NFL. I guess this game is just called NFL. Track and Field. This is really clean. Mm-hmm. Wizards and Warriors. I can't believe I don't have the manual for this.
Yeah.
And then a manual for a game I don't have, but I'm sure I will get someday. Zoda's Revenge. Star Tropics 2. And then, even more exciting than these, are the Tengen manuals. I grabbed 3 of them. One of them was very pricey, but I'm like, I never see it. And that's Fantasy Zone. Glad to add that. Indiana Jones. So there's only a few Tengen manuals left that I'm missing. And RBI Baseball 3. I don't know what they are. Tetris is one. I think Ms. Pac-Man is one.
You'll have to update your spreadsheet for next time.
And then I got this little poster.
Oh yeah, it was
this is RBI Baseball number 1 poster. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So that is the manuals.
Okay.
So now I'm going to do some other random stuff. Why don't you do those 2 things?
Okay. So we always grab things for the girls. I grabbed. They had some They had some pins. These are like cloth pins.
Yeah.
So one of them wanted Minecraft and 2 of them wanted Animal Crossing. So that's what I did.
That's what we got.
And then
what's that?
I got a new magnet, and it's not my face.
It's not. It's not judging Melissa.
No, it is Mario made out of Mario Duck Hunt from our good friend Chris Roberts.
Yep.
So
we got that.
Yeah, we got that from him. So that's very
Thanks,
exciting.
Chris.
Yes, thank you.
It's nice to have that kind of stuff.
Now I've got like matching magnets, right? Because those are his.
Those are his 2 signature magnets. Okay, and then for some other random stuff. We went to go see the panel with Howard Scott Warshaw. I always like to go see the Atari guys when they come. I think Howard Scott Warshaw was the only Atari person there this year. And I brought my book that he wrote, Once Upon Atari, to sign, which he did. And then he also had his Once Upon Atari DVD set, which is not really related to the book.
No, he said they're different.
He said they're different, and they are, because I've seen this video before. This is older. This has got to be about 20 years old now. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to buy it. And he signed it for me.
Very nice.
I don't know if you can see it right there. It's in there. And he signs Yars Truly, which is a joke, I guess, about him being the author of Yars Revenge.
Revenge, yep.
And then we were at a booth, and I looked up, and Chris Kohler was there. And I said, "You're Chris Kohler?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he was selling this book, Power Up, I can never remember the subtitle, How Japanese Video Games Gave the World an Extra Life. Now, I really enjoyed Chris's Final Fantasy V book, and I've actually heard about this book, and it was sitting right there, and I said, "Well, will you sign it for me?" And he said yes, and so I bought it, and he signed it.
There you go.
To Eric.
Very
from
nice.
Chris. So thank you, Mr. Kohler and Mr. Warshaw, for signing my books and DVDs. So that's always fun. I've been getting books lately, recently at these things, and they're always fun to get. Okay. Moving on to some random hardware. Okay. I had been doing some testing before PRGE and discovered that my stereo AV Genesis cable didn't work. And so I said, I should get one at PRGE. And so I did. And the first one I found, they wanted like, I can't remember if he said, I don't think he said $25.
I feel like it's $5. Yeah, $5.
And I'm like, nah. I found a bin where a guy was selling them for $1 or something. Is that right? Is that where we found this?
No, so the guy was selling them for $5. He didn't know what he wanted. He said, how about $5? And we were like, And then...
So that was the bin with the $5?
Yeah, and so then you found some cheap games.
I found some games.
And they were buy one, get one free, $2 each.
Yeah.
And we had 4 games, so $4. And I was like, we put it all together for $5.
We put it all together for $5.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever. So I got a Genesis AV cable. Cool. And the very first thing I bought, and I stood there for 5 minutes with the guy trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
What kind of pinout this was. It's a Sega Saturn component cable. Great. I only have AV composite and RGB SCART, and so I wanted a backup. I don't know if the cable, I think the cable works, but it doesn't, my TV isn't accepting the component input, and neither is the FrameMeister, so I might have to figure that out. But currently, only the audio is coming through, so whatever.
Okay.
All right. I think it works, though. So, and then I had seen this on Twitter and said, I should get that if I ever come across it. And I came across it. There was a Castlemania booth This is the red.
Mm-hmm. You have the blue one.
8-button arcade 2.4 gigahertz wireless pad.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with USB and a Genesis dongle, which is what I like about it, and a protective case. And it's red. And I've got the blue one. So now you have one and I have one.
So can I have the red one?
You can use the red one.
Okay.
You can borrow it when we play Turtles or something.
Or something.
Okay? All right.
For when we play video games.
When we play co-op video games on the Genesis together, which is maybe once a year.
Once a year.
All right.
Okay.
So let's go into the disc-based games, the cheapies.
You're gonna wait.
So
You're gonna make them wait, huh?
you had mentioned that there was a buy one get one free, and so I found 4 games, and I'm going to show you 2 of them because the other 2 are arranged differently. I found 2 games that I didn't have that I thought were in good enough shape to buy for $1. One of them is a Blockbuster exclusive.
Ooh.
And if I know anything about Nintendo 64 Blockbuster exclusive games, I know that they are extremely valuable, and I should always grab them. So I grabbed Outlaw Volleyball Red Hot Blockbuster exclusive Xbox game. So I'm expecting big returns on this bad boy. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
it
gonna-
was in good shape, and it was $1, and I have Outlaw Golf.
That'll fund PRGE in
Yeah,
20 years.
right.
For you.
Now this one, again, this is gorgeous. This looks brand new. This
It
case is immaculate, and I never heard of this game. It is Nightcaster Defeat the Darkness, but I got to tell you, based on the condition of the case and I don't know the cover art, and it's in really good shape for $1. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that for $1. And I
I
looked
buy
up
that
some-
for $1.
I did, yeah, and I looked at some videos, and they said it could be fun.
Okay.
So I'm actually pretty excited about this. I think this might be for $1. This is going to be a lot of value. All right, and then the 2 other games that I bundled or that I got with it, I was noting before PRGE that the Platinum Hits games are kind of cool on the Xbox. Now, maybe I'll grab some Platinum Hits if they're cheap enough. Well, $1 is cheap enough to grab Shrek 2.
Yes. It could have been cheaper, but
No, this is fine. This is great. And then I grabbed the only other one, which I already have, but maybe it'll be an upgrade. Project Gotham Racing. If not, I get a new silver case for $1. So glad to add those. And then at another booth, we saw more. Now most of the Platinum Hits were still like $10 or something. I can't even remember what we paid for these, but I know you bundled it.
yeah.
The next 3 games.
He was
are
a nice
bundled.
guy, so he bundled them very nicely for us.
He was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
There were a lot of good guys at
Yes.
PRG this year.
You're right.
Okay, so this is one I actually wanted to get because the one I have, which is a black label, doesn't work.
Oh.
And I knew I wanted to get
I didn't know
this
that.
game anyway, and so when I saw it as Platinum Hits, I
It's
grabbed.
like a twofer.
It's like a twofer. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for Xbox. Cool. This is really exciting, and this is in great shape too. It even comes with a map.
Okay.
And the other one I grabbed along with it was another great Xbox game, classic, Splinter Cell. The original, the first Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. So, grabbed 3 Platinum Hits for the Xbox collection. And then, along with those last 2, we bundled a game that I had heard about in the days leading up to PRGE from PK in the Universe,
Yeah.
Cursed Mountain. And I told him, I said, if I see this at PRGE, I'm likely to buy it now. And that's exactly what I did.
Yep. We got a good
So-
deal on it, and so
We got a pretty good deal on it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I don't know.
yeah.
I thought it might be fun to check out. Some Sunday afternoon. Okay, and this is technically the last thing I bought there.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been looking for this for a long time. I threw it in with one of the things that we'll mention later as a last minute. Hey, why don't you throw that in and then how about this price for that
Yeah.
and this? He said, okay. So I finally got Gradius 3 and 4 for the PlayStation 2. I have Gradius 5. But I wanted 3 and 4. And here it is.
There you go.
I don't see it very often. When I saw it, I bundled it and I got a pretty good, okay, not bad. Not bad. All right, so those are the disc, well, those are those disc games. Okay, so those are sort of the random disc games. So now I want to go into, I'll just put it here.
Okay.
Now I want to go into the stuff that I was focusing my collection on. Always Atari and some Sega stuff, which is where we got some really good, I think, heavy hitters. So first, do you want to talk about these? Do you know what these are?
Yeah.
Okay. So you talk about them, and I will.
Well, should we talk about these came first, but
I know, but let's do these first.
Okay.
Okay, so these are
these are the
the numbered variants, which means they're launch games for the Atari 2600. And I have these are the only so I was missing 6 of them. And this table had 3 complete sets.
Yeah.
One of which had sold, one of which was being packaged together in a case.
Like an Atari, wood panel case. Yeah.
And one of which they were willing to split out for me because I already had the other 3. So we got those. So what are they?
Yeah.
You want to talk? I'll hold them
Sure.
up. You want to
No,
do
I
it?
don't
You do
care.
it. You do it.
All right. Well,
All right.
this one is number 1, Combat.
Combat.
All right. This one is number 2, Air Sea Battle. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Starship.
I didn't have this game. This is the first copy of this game I have.
These are like in really good shape.
Yeah, they're in really good shape.
This one is number 11, Indy 500.
This one has a crooked label, which is a bummer, but
Oh. You
Other
think
than
it's a redo?
no.
Okay. Number 12, Street Racer. This is crooked too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. May have to get another one of those. Oops.
Oh, we just broke it.
No.
Number 21, Video Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I actually have all of them. There's
Yeah.
3 more. I forget what they are. Surround, Blackjack, and Basic Math or something. And so I said to myself, I'm going to get the numbered variants, and somebody was selling them as a collection, so I bought them. So that was really cool. And our friend Chris Roberts helped us negotiate that.
Yeah. Because he's a good guy.
And because he's a good guy. And he told the guy at the table, we're all good guys here. Which is where that little joke comes from.
Yep.
Because Chris Roberts was like, look, we're all good guys here. And I thought that was really great, and he got me a good deal, so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have some other random Atari games.
Which one do we do?
These.
Okay.
These are Atari.
All right.
So,
Oh, yeah.
label variant
Oh.
of a game I just got, and that is
Starship.
Starship.
Look at
I got the label variant. Now, this is a game that we saw, was it at 19? PRGE 2019, where it was in some bin and the guy had $25 on it. I'm like, why is it so expensive? He says, well, it's a rare label variant. I don't think it's that rare. Anyway, I got it now, and I certainly didn't pay $25. I think I paid $3.
that. And Superman.
Picture label,
Picture,
Superman.
yep.
So I have the picture label, I have the text label, and I have the telegames.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, too
Is
many
that
variants.
like a subset complete?
Maybe. I think that's all. I
Superman?
think that's all the versions of Superman. Yeah.
And River Raid.
Okay, now I'm going to admit something. I have never owned this game before. In 40 years, 45 years. Wow, this game isn't that old. 1982 or 3 or whatever. So 40 years. I've never owned River Raid. And I've had a heck of a time trying to find a copy of it until this year. And when I saw it, I'm like, that's in pretty good shape. Yoink. So, River Raid. Glad to finally have River Raid for the 2600 in the collection.
There you go.
200 and some Atari games, and I didn't have River Raid. Okay, next.
Tron Deadly Discs. I don't know how to hold this up. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's nothing
that's
on
fine.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell. This game I played. This looks like it's pretty fun.
Really?
I'm actually. Maybe I should play the Intel. I think there's an Intellivision version. And finally,
All right, and we had a Telegames Speedway 2. Okay.
Speedway 2 Telegames. That's the only Telegames game I bought. Is that right? Yeah,
Looks like
that's
it.
crazy.
Yep.
All right, and then Coleco. Now these were some I want to do.
These were heavy hitters.
I want to do it in this order. So you do this one. This
Okay.
is the one that I was focusing on. I have
He was
wanted
like,
it
"This
for
is
years.
what I want. It's been on your list for years."
Yeah. So what is it?
And you saw it, and it's in good condition actually. It is Root Beer Tapper. So that's
I
a
really
good game.
like this game.
Yeah.
It's a good version on the ColecoVision. But in addition to that, they had some other good condition ColecoVision games. I would have probably bought more, but
They were
I was going to
expensive.
wait until the next day, and then I didn't have any money left.
Yeah.
All right. The other one, another one I bought is another one in really good shape. Spy Hunter, awesome. Now, to me, this is more like an NES era game. So it's a little weird that it's on a system earlier, like the ColecoVision to me, but it's a curiosity, so I thought I would definitely check it out. And then a game that I can't help but always think of our friend Duke when I see it. He helped me find the Atari 2600 version at Too Many Games in 2019. I think it was 2019, I found Hero for the ColecoVision, and it's in pretty good shape. And so I said I should grab that too. And so I'm really excited about these three sort of big hitters on the ColecoVision. Certainly Ripper Tapper and Hero. Spy Hunter, I guess that's my third, but still pretty excited about those. Really excited to add those to the ColecoVision collection. And that is just the start of what I consider to be our big hitters going forward. So, all right, so what do we want to do? So let's do, maybe let's do these guys.
These guys here? Okay.
So we had found a table with some, I can't help but always look at the black box Genesis. I have a bunch of them. I don't have all of them. This one had been on my list. I actually have the Master System version of this game, which is an import. And I thought it might be time to finally get the Genesis version of Alien Storm. I think my brother used to have this game, and it would have been good if I had just gotten it from him. I never really liked the game that much, but I do want it for the collection. And I have the Master System version, so I thought I should get Alien Storm for the Genesis. So, and it was a pretty good price already. And then we bundled it with the next two, and the price became really pretty good. So happy to finally have Alien Storm. We'll see. Maybe this is one that you and I should play. Yeah, 2-player. Okay. Maybe you and I should play this with our new Genesis controllers.
All right.
This next one's an update, upgrade, and that is Eastwan. I bought this a few years ago at PRGE, but the insert had the UPC cutout.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So I bought a whole new copy just to get a non-cutout UPC. So I'll flip the old copy.
This was like a really good price, and we saw it at other tables, and they were like... They were like
worse shape.
Yeah, worse shape and more expensive, I think, than what we got at this.
This was a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a pretty great deal. I'll flip the other copy. I paid way more for this than I did for when I paid for it several years ago. But I should be able to make most of my money back. And then this one is one that I've had my eye on for a long time, and it seemed to go up and up and up. And then I saw the price on this one. And I don't know if the price has crashed or what, but this was half of the price of what I had seen it for at the last expo we looked at.
Okay.
And so this is what made me look at the table closer. I was like, oh, I should grab this for that price. Galaxy Force 2. So, and then we bundled it so it became even cheaper. So really, these are probably, in my estimation, probably the best deals
we have.
In terms of comparison to price charting price that we got. So happy to add those to the collection. And then let's do. Should we do? I thought we should do these, and we'll do this stuff at the very end.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, let's do it that way because then we'll segue. Okay, so there were two big games I wanted to get at the expo. And
that were like the very top.
Yeah, and I actually said, I think I said it towards the end, or right before. I said, I want to get this game. This is my #1 game that I want to get at the expo.
Yeah.
And that is Egg for the Dreamcast. I've had my eye on this for a long time. The price is only going up. And I said, if we see that, I'm going to want to buy it. And I think we saw, was this the only copy we saw?
No, we saw 3. No.
One of them had repro. One of them had repro stuff. I don't think we saw very many copies of this.
No, we didn't.
And when we did, I said, grab it.
That was the only copy.
I said, see if you negotiate it down, but grab it. And we got a few bucks off, I think. We got a little bit off. Not much.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'm happy to have Egg for the Dreamcast. Elemental Gimmick Gear. I keep hearing some really interesting things about this. I guess I was in a Dreamcast mood, so I grabbed Egg for the Dreamcast. And I guess I'll segue into the other Dreamcast game I got, and that is D2. Now, I already have this game. I bought it several years ago. It was sealed up, wrapped up, and it said complete. And I normally don't buy games that are wrapped up like that unless I can open them and check. But the price was so good that I bought it. It was a gamble, and it turns out the gamble didn't pay off because there was no manual. And so I've been looking for this one for a while to get it complete with the manual. You're not going to get it with just... I couldn't find just the manual, so I've been watching the prices on eBay. And so when I saw one that I thought was a good price, I bought it. The manual is in great shape.
The whole game looks like it's in
the whole. Well, some of this is my original copy.
Oh, okay.
So I now have some duplicate discs and a case. I'll probably try to flip those. But really glad to. So you can see a theme sort of that I've been upgrading certain copies of things. to get them complete. So glad to have D2 complete in the collection now, and Egg. Awesome. And then the last one I want to talk about in this group is a big hitter that I've wanted for years. And in the past couple of years, I went back and forth between, I'm not going to get it, just forget it. I'm tired of this. It's too expensive. To, maybe I should just grab it while I can. And that is a game I wanted. Was it 2018?
Yeah.
2018. Die Hard Arcade for the Sega Saturn. We bought Dynamite Cop in 2019. That game is awesome. This is the predecessor to it. And so we saw it there 3 times. The prices I thought were way too high. Like, way higher than price charting, which I think is already too high. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are all of these prices so high? And we tried several times to get it. And finally, I said, this was the second to last thing. I bought it with Gradius 3 and 4.
It was like a half an hour before the show.
It was still sitting there. And you said, go back and try to do it one last time. And so I went back to the one that we liked the most. And I said, what do you want on the Die Hard? And the guy said, I've got this price on it, but I'll do it for this much. And I said, throw in this for that price and you got a deal. And he said, deal. So, Die Hard Arcade. So this was the cherry on top of an already awesome PRGE. Glad to have Die Hard finally. But the big things that wiped us out on the first day, that made the expo for me, were some Sega Master System stuff.
Yeah. That we don't, like, we never see.
We hardly ever see. And the first one was somebody there was selling a bunch of Sega Master System imports. I was like a kid in a candy store, and I think he knew it. Just a bunch of Sega Master System imports. And I sat there and I just started piling them up. Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me. And then I started looking through them a little closer and said, okay, this isn't in good shape. And I don't really want that one that much. I don't have any money left. Which we'll talk about why, because this is after another big purchase. But I grabbed 5 import Master System games, which is, for me, insane.
Yeah.
Like, our friend Rocket Sauce helped me pick up 4 or 5 games last December. But I have never picked up 5 Master System games at PRGE, let alone 5 imports. And so I was super excited to get these. I'm not familiar with all of them, only tangentially, like I've heard of them, but let's go through them. So the first one, alphabetically, is Assault City. This game apparently has 2 versions, a control pad version and a light gun version. This is the control pad version. Robots Go Berserk. Okay, that sounds crazy, I guess. Assault City, Sega Classics. All right, this is one I have heard of. I think there are a few of these games on the Master System import in Europe, and that is Asterisk. Asterix.
Yeah.
A Viking character. I know little about these games other than I think that they're supposed to be pretty good. I'm not sure if this first one, I think this is probably the first game in the series. I think there's 2 or 3 more. Yeah, this is just a platformer. But what the heck, I don't have any Asterix games. Next is Double Hawk.
Can I just say that this looks like it's supposed to be like Rambo and like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, yeah. Yeah, it does. It does look like that, sure. Yeah. This says you control the action as John and Jack. Wow, generic. 2 warriors handpicked by the United Nations attempt to bring down a terrorist organization. Okay. It looks like it might be like an Operation Wolf. It looks like it's like behind the back. So it's not like Contra, and it's not like Commando. It looks like third person or something. Anyway, I don't know much about this, but I think, other than I think I had heard of it, and what the heck, with the cover art like this, how can you go wrong? Okay. Next.
Psychic World.
Psychic World, I've heard of this. I think I'd heard some really good things about Psychic World recently. This is in fantastic shape, and so I grabbed it. Dr. Navik needs you to use his special ESP booster to rescue young Cecile. Cecile?
I don't know.
Platformer, action platformer maybe. I've heard really good things about Psychic World, so I grabbed it. And then finally, Rainbow Islands.
It's a story of Bubble Bobble too?
The story of Bubble Bobble continues. Bubbly is on a magical, mysterious journey. Okay. Again, I think this is some kind of platformer game. I might not have gotten this one. In hindsight, there was another game that I maybe would have rather have gotten instead of this one. I went back the next day after I checked the prices on these and realized that these were on the high end. And so I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to buy any more. These 5 will have to do. And the big reason that I was thinking on the second day to try to reduce the amount of money we spent, in spite of the fact that I did buy Die Hard, was because of we were sitting there talking. You were talking with Chris Roberts, and I was sitting there listening-ish, and something out of the corner of my eye, spotted something out of the corner of my eye, something that I very rarely see. Yeah. And I went over to investigate. And what I found was the creme de la creme, the Big Daddy Sega Master System console bundle.
You're not in.
I'm not in. And that is the Sega Master System Sega Scope 3D. Now, I told a bunch of people about this at the expo, and no one knew what this was. Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is the Sega Master System equivalent to the ROM Deluxe NES set. This is the version that only the rich kids got, right? And that's if that rich kid also happened to be the weird kid who had a Sega Master System.
Yeah.
But this is the Big Daddy Sega Master System console bundle. There was the Sega Scope, there was the Sega Master System, which was the one that came with the light phaser, and then there was the Sega Base System, which just came with the game, the console, and 2 control pads. This one comes bundled with the... so the big deal is that it comes with the 3D glasses. It comes with the light phaser and 3D glasses and 2 controllers and the Missile Defense 3D. Now, that alone was not enough to get me to buy this. There is something very special about some of these packages, and that is that in later years, Sega started to build the game in with this console. You wouldn't get a cartridge, you would get it built into the power base. And so it is with this one also that the game sometimes comes separately and sometimes comes in the power base. And I was looking for the one where it came built in. And so I asked if I could open it. I flipped it over and I saw what I consider to be the magic number. The model number is 3010-C. And that indicates the game is built in. And so when I saw that, I said, what do we have to do to get this home with me? And so we negotiated it. The ColecoVision games were part of that. I put a little bit of it in our other video, and I walked away with a complete Sega Scope 3D in-box with the custom, or with the variant Sega Master System with the Missile Defense game built in. Wow. Really, and the 3D glasses work. Really exciting. And there's a bunch of manuals and all kinds of stuff. So this is what I hadn't planned for. I didn't dare hope or dream would happen, and it was one of the first things we bought. I think it was the second thing
I think so too.
After Mr. Component Cables. It was the second thing I bought, and of course it was expensive enough that it should have ramped me down for the rest of the expo, but because it was so early, I wasn't ready to ramp down yet. And we got all these other goodies too.
And we had just started, so like we hadn't even seen everything.
We hadn't even seen everything, that's right. So, from my perspective, this was a fantastic PRG pickups year. Probably the best.
Really?
2017 was really good. That was really good because we got a bunch of great games at good prices. And I used to say we wanted that's good. Getting good games at good prices is good. Getting a bunch of really good games is also pretty good. And we got a bunch of... I'm really happy about all the stuff we got here. There's not really any... filler. Except for maybe Shrek 2.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of filler here. All of this stuff is stuff that I definitely wanted for the collection. Well, I mean, Rainbow Island. I'm always on the lookout for imports. Yeah. So, I will claim, we didn't do a top 5 list.
No.
But I will claim, Die Hard had been on my list for a while. Egg, I had made it to the top of the list. I wanted to fill out some instruction manuals. Tapper was on the top of my list for ColecoVision. So yeah, so
I mean, imports are always on the top of your list too,
imports
because you
are
almost never
yes,
see them.
Yes. So in terms of the Dreamcast and the Saturn and the ColecoVision, I got my #1 picks maybe for a bunch of different consoles.
Yeah.
And then I got the Granddaddy console bundle. So
Right.
PRG was a great year. Great year for pickups. Our friends came out. We got to hang out with our friends.
It was good to be back.
It was good to be back. And
we're already looking at the next expo next year.
Yes. And I was going to ask you, there's also the swap meet, which I haven't heard anything about. But we're talking about something even bigger than the swap meet.
Yep.
Which, are you going to mention it, or you want to save that?
Go ahead.
So it turns out that our friend Rocket is in the area of Midwest Gaming Classic. And we've been there in 2018, and it was a great time. And next year, the Spring Midwest Gaming Classic is scheduled to occur at the same time as our spring break. Which means we could potentially, we wouldn't have to take the kids off school. We could fly out to Chicago and visit family, and then drive up to Midwest Gaming Classic. So we are going to try to make that happen.
Yep. I think we're really going to try to make that happen. So if anybody else wants to make that happen, just saying.
Anybody else wants to?
Then we would love to see you.
We would love to see you at Midwest Gaming Classic. Okay, so in the meantime, I am going to enjoy the games from PRGE 2022. Great year.
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. I guess that should do it.
Yep. If you enjoyed the video, like us and subscribe.